Two breaking stories about the Steelers just dropped, and they've taken everyone by surprise. The first one completely flips the script on one of the NFL's most controversial figures, and it was a rookie who set the record straight. The second? It's a growing concern involving a former first-round pick who was once seen as a key part of the team's future. There's excitement building around the offense, but some serious questions are bubbling up behind the scenes. These are the latest and hottest updates from the Pittsburgh Steelers, starting with an unexpected side of Aaron Rodgers that nobody saw coming. Turns out all that noise about Aaron Rodgers being a locker room diva might be just that, noise. According to Pittsburgh Steelers rookie linebacker Peyton Wilson, the guy the media painted as a drama magnet is actually nothing like that behind closed doors. Wilson hopped on ESPN radio and basically said, "Y'all got it twisted." Since Rodgers landed in Pittsburgh, Wilson says he's been nothing but a top-tier leader and a solid dude. Sure, there was all that media chatter about Rodgers being a distraction in Green Bay and butting heads in New York, especially with Garrett Wilson and even with longtime bro Davante Adams. But Wilson swears once you actually meet the guy, that whole narrative gets tossed out the window. "All that stuff is fake," he said. "He's been great from day one." Rodgers, now 41, seems to be vibing just fine in the Steel City. He showed out in his Pittsburgh debut last Sunday, torching the Jets for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns on 22 of 30 passing. Not only did he get the win over his old squad, but he also led the entire NFL in touchdown passes in Week 1 and posted the second-best passer rating in the league at 136.7. So yeah, the old man still got it, and it's not just about the stats. Calvin Austin III gave Rodgers props earlier this week, saying the QB's work over the summer had the offense dialed in for their Week 1 showdown against a stout Jets defense. On the flip side, Wilson said practicing against Rodgers during training camp was like going through boot camp for the defense. It wasn't easy, but it made them sharper. "It was really cool to go against him all camp," Wilson said. "It definitely made the defense better. Sure, we'll see how long the honeymoon lasts. Every team hits rough patches during the season, and the vibe around Rodgers might shift when things get tough. But right now, the guy's ballin', his teammates have his back, and Steelers fans are loving the early returns. But while Rodgers brings calm to the locker room, things are heating up on the offensive line, and a major shakeup might be just around the corner. Broderick Jones might be skating on thin ice in Pittsburgh, and the chatter around the Steelers' O-line isn't exactly glowing right now. After a rough Week 1 showing against the Jets, the whispers about Jones losing his starting job are starting to grow into full-on conversations. Jones, who the Steelers grabbed in the first round of the 2023 draft, came in with big expectations after tearing it up at Georgia and winning a natty. But so far in the NFL, it's been more struggle than sizzle. In that season opener, he looked consistently behind in pass protection, and the run game didn't offer much of a cushion either. Sure, you can blame the entire line, but Jones didn't do himself any favors on tape, or in the PFF grades. Now here's where it gets spicy. Ray Fittipaldo, who covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, isn't exactly betting on Jones sticking it out as the starter for much longer. During one of his Q&A chats, when asked how long Jones would last at left tackle, Fittipaldo didn't sugarcoat it. If he continues to play like that, it won't be long. And when another fan asked whether Jones could make it to October in the starting lineup, Fittipaldo flat out said he wasn't confident. That's not just media buzz. That's a legit insider waving the warning flag. If Pittsburgh decides to pull the plug, they've got a few fallback plans. Calvin Anderson is the most likely name to step in, but there's also Andrus Peat, a former Pro Bowler who's played both guard and tackle, and Spencer Anderson, the Swiss Army knife of the group who can play anywhere on the line. The problem: solid offensive linemen are rare and expensive, and the Steelers are already working with one of the youngest units in the league. That means even if Jones is benched, the replacement options come with their own risks. Rodgers silenced the critics with leadership and performance, but the O-line could become a serious issue. If Broderick doesn't bounce back, time might run out. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next for the Steelers.